Good morning. I am not sure if y'all can hear me well. I am, okay, I am recording a voice note while I am walking. I have temporarily vacated the premises of Memphis to come to Murfreesboro, Tennessee to spend time with my daughter. She just graduated from MTSU and she ain't likely moving back to Memphis, so I have to create space to breathe her whenever I can, whenever I get to. Oh, it's a dog with 3 legs. He is looking at me. He is so cute. He is a gorgeous color. He wants to be my friend, but he's on a leash with his owner, so he can't. Anyway, all right. So, yeah, I have vacated the premises of Memphis. And in case y'all have not noticed, I vacate the premises often. And the premises are not necessarily regulated or relegated to the city. I just vacate. I leave. I take a break. I disappear. And I enjoy doing that. It's necessary for me in order to exist and be and to survive and to thrive in this world. So let me start by saying this. This is where I started reading because I had to write, because y'all know I would go off the rails and or I will try to go back to the beginning of time to explain something. And so writing gives me space and an opportunity to be more structured in my thinking. And I'm going to take a little break right here. Hold on. All right. A continuation. I was walking and I could tell I was getting a little winded. And I could also tell that the wind was blowing in the phone. So I decided to get somewhere where I could, where I could sit. And I'm sure you may still hear some wind, but I didn't want to record this in Madison's apartment and she was still asleep. I didn't want to disturb her in any way. So I thought I needed to get out to record this. And plus I wanted to go walking anyway, stretch these legs, walk off some of I ate a lot of bread and sweet stuff yesterday, which I don't normally do. So I am feeling the effects of all of that sugar and flour in my system. That's another topic for another day. So excuse the wind. If you hear it blowing, I know you will, but my mouth is like directly on my speaker. So you should be able to still hear me clearly through the wind and whatnot. So let me continue. And this is where, again, I start reading something that I wrote. Let me start by saying, I am not a sociologist. I do not study societal and social behavior. I am not an anthropologist. I do not study the characteristics of past and present human communities. I am not a historian. I do not research, analyze, or interpret historical documents or sources. But I have been accepted at the University of Memphis as a student in the geology department. I do want to study geology, but I ain't ready to enroll in classes yet. Maybe by the fall I will be. If not, of course, it'll be the spring of next year. Well, while I am not currently engaged in a formal academic study, I do consider myself to be a student of my life. I am learning to consider my experiences within a sociological, anthropological, and historical context. And because I am a student of my experiences, I get to think, critique, and challenge the world around me. I get to write and speak my thoughts about my learnings. I am a human who is becoming well aware that my experiences in this neighborhood, in this city, in this state, in this country, in this world, are directly tied to my black skin. They are tied to my gender, my socioeconomic status, my wage, my familial structure. Yes, a lot of my experiences are tied to things that I have no control over. They are tied to constructs and systems that have been created by evil, greedy, money, power, and control-hungry people. And the recording continues. If I were a white man, my life would look totally different. Period. Point blank. New chapter. It's unfortunate that I am forced to do the work to rectify and reconcile my humanity. It should be the oppressor doing that work. The work ain't easy. It's tough, it's tiring, it's unnerving, it can be lonely, all that stuff. But, and still, it is freeing. It is exhilarating. It's adventurous. There is joy here. There is peace here. There is warmth here. There is something hauntingly beautiful about being aware of my space and place. I get to construct a world for myself based on ideologies and practices that serve me. It is lush and beautiful, nourishing, magical, and enchanting in my world. I'm learning how to construct this world in ways that benefit and serve me. And because I serve me wholly, my community feeds from my overflow. I'm learning how I held and continue to hold thoughts that are parallel to those of my oppressors. I'm learning that the majority of my life has been marked with thoughts about myself and the people around me that have been handed to me by my oppressors. I'm learning how dangerous that has been for me and for those around me. Y'all, I don't really like this world that exists outside of the world outside of the world that I am creating for myself. It's hard to pretend that I do. But because there is such a thing as respect and tact, and because I have to follow some of society's rules for the sake of safety, for the sake of uniformity and structure, I do unfortunately have to be out here in this world. I don't get out here often, though when you don't see me on social media, when you don't hear from me, when I don't respond, and when I'm vacating and I'm taking a break and I'm decompressing, don't take it personal. I am just taking care of myself. I'm taking care of my mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual self. I engage in that care in radical ways, and I don't lend many thoughts towards how folk feel about how I take care of myself. I desire to experience the world outside of me on my own terms. I desire to shift the energy of the world that exists outside of mine, shift it towards enlightenment, awareness, and critical thought. And let me add this because I did not write it, but shift it towards creativity and imagination and openness. Let me add that too. And I don't do this for myself, not just for myself. I do it for myself, but not just for myself. I do it for my babies, my adult daughter, who is 21 years old, and my toddler son, who is 2.5 years old. I desire to see a different world for them. It's been a journey, and I know it will continue to be. I can't say that I'm always up for the ride, but because I choose to be aware, enlightened, and engaged in the work of supporting my babies and others on their journey, then the ride I will take. I could really expand on each and every one of the thoughts that I presented here. I could expand each and every thought to a book, an ebook, an essay. I don't have the time to do that right now. But there's so much nuance hidden in between all of these letters and these words that I am presenting before you. And I'm not even sure that there is language to fully communicate the ongoings of this space that I'm in. Hence, this wandering object on black lined paper. Is it an eye? It could be an eye. I Googled eye, and that's one of the images that came up. I searched for an eye, and that is one of the images that came up that kind of resonated with me. It could be a planet because you look at it, it's round, it looks ethereal, it looks like a planet. It also could look like a black hole. I don't know what it is. It can be whatever I want it to be. But it just symbolizes the awareness and the infinite possibilities that exist in the space that I am creating, or in the world that I am creating, or wherever I am. Like the possibilities that exist wherever I am. I get a chance to unearth that. I get a chance to explore and have fun and be creative with where I am. So that is why the eye or the object is wandering around. Okay, this wind is really blowing. I know y'all can hear it. Anyway, that's it for now. Catch me on Patreon, y'all. That's where I am creating like very transparent like community and content. Like it's open over there. I want to create a community, like a chosen community of people who are on the same path as me. And that's why I created Patreon. I could have gone about different ways to do it. I could have also been very free and very vocal on social media. But I'm not exactly sure I am ready to be. I'm not ready for that. Like, nah, I ain't trying to take that on in this space where I'm taking care of myself. So that's it for now. If you are listening to this, and you are not in the Patreon, tomorrow I am having a little kickback, something real light. We're going to do a deep dive on this series that I am starting called Liberation Through Decolonization. And we're going to unpack a space and place, and we're going to talk about how the hustle, grind, and grit energy of Memphis has its roots in the commodification of black bodies. I'm not exactly sure who all is going to be able to make it. If no one can make it, because I realize I set these dates at times that are convenient for me, so I know not everyone is able to attend. I would rather it be a discussion, but if no one is able to be there, I'm just going to record my thoughts and share it within the Patreon community. And then have more opportunities for us to continue to unpack until it's time for us to move on into another topic or another area within liberation through decolonization. So join me in the Patreon community. There are 3 different tiers. There's a $5, $10, and a $15. Each one comes with its own benefits and perks or whatever, what have you. So join me over there. And that's it. I'll catch y'all later. All right. Bye-bye. All right. Now I got to get back to the recording to stop it.